Here we are. Check. Make sure we're live. We are live. Hi everybody, I'm here. Just making sure that we are live. Maybe you could let me know that you're there. And I know. Hi Bonnie Moore, thank you. God love you if you're there. All right, yep, we're live. Okay, good. So this is the world's biggest online hook-in. Anyway, I don't know. I think really we could have 100 people and we'd be the world's biggest online hook-in. But it doesn't matter. I have no idea. I have no idea if how many Facebook, like how many people are able to watch a live feed. So it doesn't matter, does it? We're here and we're together and we have the thing that we love to do. Hi, Paula Davis. Hi, Ingrid Taylor. Nancy Travis right here in Amherst, I think, is watching. Hey, Jan, down the road. She's my neighbor. Well, neighbors, when you live in a rural area, neighbors are like a mile away sometimes, but still good. Welcome, everybody. Get your hooking on. Get your hooking out. First, I'm going to move out of the way, and when everybody gets here, I'm going to give a couple of minutes for everybody to sort of show up. Haley Perry, that's my niece. Hey, Marielle. Haley Perry runs Loop to Loop Studio. She's my niece. She lives in Massachusetts. If you're there, you can visit her in Warren. She has a studio. And when we get a few more people here, I'm going to go over last week's rug and talk to you about it because I think it's just kind of fun to do that. So how was everybody's week? Okay, first things first. The first person named Linda who comments can email me afterwards because I have a book, my latest book, and so Linda, the next Linda who comes up, you can email me. So comment if you're a Linda out there. And I have a book and I can send you a book because I signed a book to Linda and it was the wrong name on the book. So anyway, so come on, Linda, email me, text me or comment here and then I can send you a book. And we're going to have a little contest today too, have a few little contests. But I thought it would be nice if someone got a wool box next month. We'll add an extra wool box. So keep commenting and talking and then I'll go through it. Last week, Betty Heath was the winner of the wool box and not a wool box, but an inspiration box. And she wanted some skies. So I'm going to make her up a box of skies. So design school has been going good. Today we made a little mistake in our design school and we put up the wrong video, but now it's fixed. But it's been going good and I've been seeing people design rugs. So if you have any feedback for me on design school, I'm open. I'm here. Oh, we've got over 600 people, so I think we're going to get there. Hello, Maxine Benson and Jolie Ritterwick, Shelley Richardson. I'm happy to change my name to Linda. I still haven't seen a Linda pop up. If you see a Linda pop up, then we can email her and we'll mail her the book. What was I going to tell you about? Okay, so today I'm working on a rug that I designed for our design school, which is all over now till next year. So you can't join till next year if I decide to do it again. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk about light backgrounds because a lot of times we need light backgrounds. It's surprising how often we need light backgrounds. So I'm going to talk about that and I'm going to show you some writing that I did and give you the story behind the rug. Never saw a Linda yet. Is there a Linda? Linda popping up. Come on, Linda. If you're out there, any Linda. Hello, Kelly Mack from Fall River. Linda Crew, do you have my new book, Making Time? That's the question. If you do, maybe another Linda can have it, but if you don't have it, send me your mailing address and I'll mail you that book. So we got a Linda. So the wools I'm going to be using today are Big Merino. That's this one right here. It's really lovely. And you'll notice that and I'm going to use some hand-dyed studio wool. This is called Silver Gray. Yeah, I think it's called Silver Gray. I'm bad with names. I want to call it, and I'm going to be using Stellina, and you're going to see me using those today. And I'm going to be using just good old rustic Briggs and Little. It's just such a great yarn. I mean, what's wrong with that? It's just good. And then, of course, just Big Merino. And you're going to see kind of a snow scene. So shall we get to work? There are Lindas. Thanks, Bonnie. I think I found one. Sharon Lee Falter, you're glad to be here. We've got someone, Lori Lawson from Minnesota, Nina Seaman from New Jersey. Isn't this great that we're all together and we're all using our hands? It's so, so important. And I think I've learned, well, first of all, this live Facebook Thursdays just started because I think Angela came into the studio and said, everybody's stuck home. I think you should do a live Facebook. So I did. We did a live Facebook, and it turned out that that was something that people really, really wanted. And I thought, oh, Tanya Tuttle, you brought your first large landscape. Oh, good, great. Jane Stack is hooking in Tidnish. So is Tanya Tuttle. We're all hooking in our homes. So it is something that people want to do. So I've been really enjoying doing it. It's been really real pleasure. So I'm going to push this down now, and we'll talk about some more prizes later on. And I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So I found this quote once, and I think it was John Krakauer. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right, but he was the writer of he climbed Mount Everest or something, and he was the writer of this book. I think it was called Into the Wild. So the writing is backwards, you guys, but that's okay. I think make sure I got it right here. Where am I going to work? I'm going to work underneath the. So I'm going to talk about the importance of backgrounds. So he was a writer, and he said that, you know, sometimes people are traveling and they just find what they're looking for at home. And I was talking about this in design school too, and I'm going to talk about it more in one of the lessons. But so this writing says, and so this is a quote from me, or these are words from me based on a quote from him about when I was coming back this winter from a trip to the States, a long, long drive. And I kind of went away thinking I need to see something new. We always feel that way, don't we? You know, but I feel less and less that way all the time. I went out my door this morning, and I don't know about you, but it looked all new to me. Like I'd never seen it before when I went out there for my walk. You just wake up, and the world, it was quiet. You know, the world was quiet, and I just went out, and the trees looked different, the sky looked different, the light looked different, and it just felt different. And nobody was awake in the house, so I felt like I was all alone in it. And so more and more, I think that we are learning, you know, through this time, we have learned to appreciate our homes more, and we've learned to appreciate our place more. I've never been so grateful to have a little space around me. I've, you know, never been so happy on the piece of land that I'm on as I have been during this time. And I think a lot of us are learning that. We're appreciating our space and our place and our communities, and we're trying to do our best for each other. So this says, I traveled. So what happened was I went for this long, long drive, and then I came back. And we drove for 7 days, pretty much straight. Myself and my friend Denise and our husbands. And I was looking to see something new and something fresh, and I saw things. We saw the Blue Ridge Mountains, really gorgeous, things that were just so beautiful, but they didn't feel like home, of course, because they weren't. And I was driving, and then just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick, which is only about an hour from home, I looked up on this ridge and I saw this coyote, and it was there, and it was still like day. It was still a day sky, and there was a moon above it, and there was that coyote walking, like standing still on the ridge, right? And I thought, oh my gosh. And then so the quote, based on there's a couple of quotes like this that you'll find, but I wrote this one into Google, and I couldn't find it. So I traveled so far only to find what I was looking for was what I'd left behind. And so I traveled so far only to find what I was looking for was what I'd left behind. And I think that's one of the good things about going somewhere, is that you do see you do see, my friend says that when she travels somewhere else, she can really see clearly the beauty of her home when she gets home. So we have 965 people watching. hopefully we'll hit that 1,000 mark. That's kind of what my goal is to hit that 1,000 mark. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because even if there were 3 of us here and we were all hooking in our own home, safe and comfortable, we'd be just fine. So this is the big merino. And then there's white cloth. This is the European cream that we have milled specifically for us in Europe. And this is my silver gray. And then my other big merino. But first I want to cut this bleached white, because Briggs & Little bleached white, you can't get white wool, right? You know that. And this is like $7.95 a skein or something. We're just having some more in. Okay, we're gonna knot that. So I use this a lot. It's a great, and this is the heavier ply. Sometimes I use Atlantic, which is a 3-ply or a 4-ply. So when you're hooking a background, there are a couple of things that give you perspective. And one of the things is I want this coyote not to blend into the ridge. He's a silhouette, right? I had a dream about a coyote the other night. I have to tell you that. Okay. On Do Not Disturb, but anyway, it comes through. So don't call me while you're watching this, okay? Oh, we hit 1,000 and now we're down to back to $9.99. Oh, we're back to 1,000. There we go. We did it. All right. Okay, so this white wool, what you want to do is, the coyote is a silhouette, so I don't want him to blend in. I want him to lay upon this background, right? So what we're going to do is what you want to do to get that effect is you want to make sure that you hook the background through the coyote. Call a friend. We're at 1,000. That's great. Call a friend. Tell them to get on. We want to keep it at 1,000. Okay. So see what I'm doing here? I'm putting the white. You see it? Bring it out a little bit. Hang on. I'm going to come out here a little bit. Okay. We good? All right. So this is just a little trick. And remember what I told you once before, that if something's outlined, you're reshaping it again when you hook it. So I'm going over here. So I'm going to take this color, this white color, and I'm going to make sure that I bring it all the way over and through both legs and the in-between of the legs. I'm going to make sure there's a little bit there, just a nick. That's all I need, is just a little nick of it. But doing that will give this rug perspective. Now you can't see the perspective right now. You can't exactly see the perspective right now. But you will be able to. Okay, so that's an important tip. If you're hooking background, you want to, and same with the letters. In the letters here, see how I have this right here? I have the silver gray, and I have the silver gray going right through it, right? It's less important in the letters that it go through all the way, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to hook the inside of the zero, like the O, excuse me, S-O, the inside of the O. I don't want to just hook that color in there and then not use it on the outside of it, because then that'll look like a dot, and we don't want a dot, right? We don't want a dot. Oh, we're at 1,100. I think we're going to do it, folks. It's all because of you guys showing up, and it's all because of you guys telling your friends. So I'm doing that silver gray. It's just a white with just a touch of gray in it. Perfect for, this is kind of the effect of snow, I guess, because some of us are still getting snow in May. We've had snow twice this week. But you see, I'm not going to just let it, and I do cheat a little bit here, and I do cross over underneath, but I figure if it's just one little line, what difference does it make? You know, I'm done being hard on myself. Just make a little mistake, what the heck? Or even, you know, you make a little mistake repeatedly and you decide that's not a mistake, that's just the way I do it. We don't need to be hard on ourselves. Okay, so there's the gray. So I'm carrying that through. Now I want to bring in this big merino because, you know, if we're hooking snow, see this is called, what's it called on the website? It's called Earth Wave. And we're going to have a darker version of it coming in too, I think. But this color is really perfect for blending with whites. You know, this is beautiful in the sky. It's beautiful in snow. It's beautiful in sea as the waves. It's a really gorgeous color. It's also a beautiful, like, animal color, like if you were doing a white rabbit or something like that. So, and of course, the beautiful thing about this wool is it's so fluffy, this big merino. So now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to, and just watch when I hook this big merino, the subtlety, right? In a snow scene, you need a little, you can't just hook it flat white. The thing I love about the bleached white is that, you know, wool is naturally beige, right? It's just kind of a beigey color. It's like right off the sheep, it's this color, right? But if you bleach it, it's that color. So sometimes we have a lot of people call us for white wool. Well, we don't have any white wool cloth. We only have bleached white. That's all we have. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is sort of a reflection on my trip and my life and a reflection on travel, because I think a lot of us are thinking differently about travel now. We will travel again, of course. But so my work is often like that. It's often, get that up in here. I'm squeezing that in there. Gotta cut that. It's often a reflection of what's happening around me. And maybe it's a reflection of some, this is another piece over here. I didn't just skip it. Another piece of the same wool. That's the big merino. It's often a reflection of what's happening in my world and in my life. And sometimes it's a reflection of something that happened to me a long time ago or something that was important to me. And that's what art is. It's just about taking ideas and making them whole. What are you making? What are you guys making? Why don't you tell me a little bit in the comments? I read the comments afterwards. I don't get to every one of them, but I try to give a good going over of them. And I try to have a peek at all of them. I'm not able to respond to every one of them. I'd rather hook, right? I can't respond to every one of them. There's a lot of them, but I appreciate them and I do read them, and I thank you for that. These scissors, I've been cutting linen with them, so I gotta get my scissors. What I do is I keep one pair of scissors with a little thread on them, like that, so that I know that I haven't touched linen with them, and they stay really, really sharp when I do that. So I'm going to clip this little coyote. So my dream about the coyote the other night, I was in the yard. I dream about wool a lot. Do you guys dream about wool? I dream about wool all the time. Anyway, I dream about the coyote. There was a coyote in my yard, right? That's kind of a serious dream. It was a black and white coyote, and I was feeling threatened. I was worried. But then I remembered that my children were inside and my husband was inside, and then I didn't feel scared anymore because I knew that they would look after me. Isn't that nice? I remember feeling safe in my dream, even though I was going face to face with that coyote. So you can see how I'm bringing that color all the way through there. But yeah, that was really reassuring. But it was a black and white kind of mangy coyote, and it just came out of nowhere. But I knew that my family was there and that they would just come out and help me deal with the coyote. So now I'm going to add some cloth in there. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to reshape the foot a little bit of the coyote. And this is the European cream number 8. We now have it in $14 pieces in the store and on the website, so that you can just get a piece of it. And so I've cut some of this in number 6 and some of it in number 8, and I do that all the time. So I think I just wanted to tell you that if you're waiting for an order, we are shipping every day, but we have a backlog of orders that are waiting for Sari, and our Sari is somewhere between here and New York, and somewhere in the States, and we're just waiting for it to come in. And also we're just waiting on a couple of new colors from Briggs & Little, and the mill just opened again last week. So you can see I'm just bringing this cream all the way through. Now I'm going to show you. So if you're waiting on an order and there's Sari in it, some Saris, that's what's going on. And of course our Shed Camps. If you want a Shed Camp, get it ordered. Right now it's about a 3 to 4 week waiting period. So what I'm going to do now, so I've got this foundation set where this color, this earth wave color has gone all the way through, and I've got the white, so it's gone all the way through. Now I don't need to make everything else go all the way through, because then it will get too perfect. So that's one of the things you want to do with background. You want to establish it, and then you can just fill in. So what we're going to do is we took that cream over to here, and we're going to pick it up over here. So it's kind of a painterly fashion is how we're working. And that's my little story for today. It's the coyote story. And I'm going to pick up this Briggs & Little yarn and the background story. How to make a silhouette stand out on your background. But this works for any background. This would work for flowers. It works for lettering. It works for anything. I'm going to pick up this Briggs & Little yarn because the natural Briggs & Little just feels right to me a lot of times. So I'm going to double it. And I'm just going to fill in this area here. You guys hooking away, I hope. Well, I think we did really great to get 1,000 people to come out together today and want to make things. I'm really, really pleased with that. 1,100, I think that's just awesome. I really do. If you type in comments now, yes, the variegated yarns do look like the coyote shadow. If you type in some comments now, and I can see them as they're coming up, and maybe I can answer a few questions for you. I've just started the Sea Garden Abstract, but I'm making the colors of the Lake of Minnesota. I think that's great. One of my favorites was done in coral. So 3 deer just walked by my window. Wildlife and hooking are good. Thank you. Love to watch you hook. I'm working on a rug depicting St. George Round Church. Hooking an alarm clock. Yeah, the rooster. Yeah, the virus situation is slowing down the shipping, but we've been pretty good. UPS has been pretty good, and we use Chit Chats too. So it's been pretty good. You know, we're getting a lot of orders out now, and they're going fairly fast. But if you have Sari in your order, we are waiting for that to come in. I just want to talk a little bit about last week's rug. What time is it? We getting there? 2:22. We still got some time. I want to talk a little bit about last week's rug because I think I like to follow through there with that. So you knew the story behind it, and there it is. It's all done. So have a look at that sky. See what happened there? So that was using the blue curly locks, and so you can use the silky curly locks or the Wensleydale. We have both, and then I used the mauve. I ended up using the mauve in 4 places. Now, if you took a design class, they would say, well, I guess you could say use 3s or 5s, or that's common, and that's a good design rule, but you don't need to follow it all the time. But this is really just the 3rd place because they kind of work together really. The curly I used in 2 spots, but this blue here, this was like a blue that I nearly wrecked because I had it. It got spun out in the washing machine by mistake. And I want to show you another thing that I did. This line right across here, I don't know how well you can see it. But right before I did my line for the rocks, I put a kind of a horizon line right across. That gave it some depth. Really surprised. I don't know if you noticed, but last week she had on a purple dress and with a pink top. I just said, lady, you need to change. You just can't stay in that outfit. So I put her in this pale pink, and I think it works. There's 2 different corals in the houses. And I don't know, I'm really pleased with it. I think it came out really good. I especially like the sky, and I feel like that's a kind of a new sky for me. It's a little different than I've ever done before, and so I'm kind of excited about that. I want to tell you what I'm reading, because it's a really good book. It's the story of, it's called Art and Rivalry by Carol Bishop Gwynn. And it's very good. It's a Canadian author, and it's about the relationship and the art life of Christopher and Mary Pratt, who are Newfoundland artists. So that was really good. I wanted to share that. And Carol is a rug hooker, so I don't know if she's on with us today or not, but I just wanted you to know that there's rug hookers who are writers, and there are writers who are rug hookers, and all that, and that she wrote a really great, a really good story. And I don't know, what else do we want to talk about? Got any questions? I'm hooking Nova Scotia, looking out my window. Matt, hi. The sky's amazing. Thanks, Bonnie. I think it is too. I'm going to play with it. I'm also thinking you could do a night sky like that. So say if these lines were lime green and there was navy in it, then it would be like Northern Lights. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to be able to do with that. Hi, Remy. How are you? My next rug, I'm going to do is going to be small squares, 6 by 6 inches, and I'm going to play with color in them, and I'm really looking, like doubling smaller yarns. I missed that, sorry. Hooking a fisherman, are you? Great. Love the new mat. Thanks, Elaine. Wayne Gulliver, just watched a documentary about Mary Pratt. Yes, they're 2 artists, both whose work I love, and for very different reasons. Their work is very different from each other. Christopher Pratt's and Mary's, and we have so many great artists in Canada, and it's just fun to read. And it's not fun to read about them, it's just interesting to read about them, learn about their lives. I think I love your outfit. Is it from 30 Church? Yes, indeed it is. It's from Pure. It's made in Canada. It's lovely. So I think I'm going to sign off. We had our hook in. I know it seems like I don't want to go, but if you give me a few questions, I'll stay. Just finished your pink mousse. Great. Would love to know how you hook so fast. I can tell you how I hook so fast. 30 years practice. That's number 1. Number 2 is I relax my hand. Number 3, I know that things don't need to be perfect to be good. I don't worry about the evenness of my loops. I know that will get looked after. Joanne McWhorter, you're not set up to hook. Oh, good. You're inspired. Well, that's good. Anyway, so that's how I hook so fast, is I relax and I just focus on the hooking. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll look at a couple more and then I'm gone. Will you get Ivory Sari with the new shipment? Yes, that's what we're waiting for. Art and Rivalry is the book. Yep. Thank you from Ladies of the Night. Oh, hello, Spring Hill. Thank you. Take care. All right, I'm off. I'm going to work on this today. I'm going to go put on my old clothes again. It's really fun seeing you guys. Thank you so much.